What's going on YouTube? It's Alex here with Present Moment Photographs, and in this one we're talking today about how to avoid the crowds in Sedona. Sedona is a super beautiful place and awesome to visit, especially if you're into the outdoors, but sometimes there can be a ton of people at trails. Parking can be a mess, getting around the town can be a nightmare, all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to give out a few tips here and a few locations as well on avoiding crowds in Sedona. So the first thing I've got is to go on the weekdays. If you go to Sedona on the weekend, there really is no getting around the crowds, to be honest with you. So many people come up from all over Arizona, mainly Phoenix, but a lot of other locations too, to visit Sedona, and you're just going to get stuck in all that traffic and all that mess at all the different trailheads. So the first kind of thing to do is, if you can, come on a weekday, or if you do come on a weekend, the best time to come is Friday, if you can, before everyone gets off work, or Sunday in the evening. Sometimes there's less people. Saturday, just generally all day, is always going to be the worst time to visit in terms of seeing, other people and crowds around. And then the next thing is to go in the off season. So in the summertime, so many people go to Sedona, especially from Phoenix again, to cool off, right? And especially a lot of the watering holes get really busy, really popular. It's a disaster to park. But if you go in colder months, right, in the winter, you can get trails all to yourself. Here, I went to the Subway Cave Trail in last January, and it was in the middle of a snowstorm, which is a whole nother beautiful condition to witness Sedona, and I would highly recommend doing it if you can. But I went to this trail, which usually in the summer, the cave's totally packed with people. You have to wait in line to get your picture. It's starting to become a pretty well-known spot. Parking lots always full as well. But I went in the winter and I had it all to myself, and it was an awesome experience all around. So I would say definitely visit Sedona in the cooler months and, pack what you need for hiking. But once you get moving on a lot of these trails, right, if it's snowing, sure, it may be a little cold, but right before the thick of winter, you can really get some great conditions for hiking and avoid the crowds at the same time. And then the third and final thing I have for avoiding the crowds in Sedona is know where to go. And this one's pretty important. I'll put a couple places here. The first one being Little Horse Trailhead, which is kind of right off the main road heading from the highway or Village of Oak Creek south of Sedona up into Sedona. There's a trail here, and it kind of splits off in all sorts of different directions. If you go online and look at like the best hikes in Sedona, you're going to see Cathedral Rock or maybe like Bell Rock, and you can go there. They're cool hikes. They have great views. But to be honest with you, for me, the views combined with the amount of people at those locations are just not worth it, right? Why would I do that when I can go hike a trail that I may have all to myself and get just as good, if not different, unique views? And so the first place is Little Horse Trailhead. I like taking this out to Chicken Point. The Jeep tours will drive out there a different way, but you can kind of hike out there, and the trail splits off a lot into different directions. So there's a lot of cool exploring to do. And like I said, not too many people on it. There's always room in the parking lot as well, so that's a really nice thing. Another place I really like is Schnibly Hill, and this is a road on the east side of Sedona, and you do need a high clearance 4x4 vehicle that is pretty capable to travel on this road. The pink Jeeps will go to one specific spot on this road, but there's a lot of little pull-offs and trails and side roads off this main road that offer amazing views out west to get some great sunset photos or just views. And this is one of my favorite places in all of Sedona because there's so much to explore, and the views for sunset are just breathtaking, seeing out over the valley of Sedona and everything that it has to offer. Those are just a couple places I like to go in Sedona. There are many, many other trails and places that haven't been discovered. And then there's also trails that people don't go on as much because, I don't know, they're not as popular. When you Google best hikes in Sedona, it doesn't show up. But the truth is, you can find so many awesome hikes in Sedona that aren't on those lists if you just kind of dig around and look a little bit. Because the truth of Sedona is there's these red rocks and these views all around, right? It's hard to get a bad view in Sedona. So I encourage you guys to explore. That's what I did to find a couple of these spots, and I have a couple more on my radar I want to check out for sure. So anyways, those are the 3 tips just to recap for avoiding crowds in Sedona. Is try to go on the weekdays. The next thing is go in the off season, which is the cooler months of the year. Try to go there in winter and witness it if you can when it's snowing. And then the third thing is to explore and do a bit of research beyond the traditional popular hikes in Sedona to kind of find your own spots. And I find that that's much more rewarding than Googling something that everyone goes to and showing up and a bunch of people being there. So yeah, anyways, I hope you guys learned something from this video and go check out the beauty that Sedona has to offer. If you've been there, drop down below kind of a comment about your favorite spot out there so other people can see as well. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, peace.